ADBN, Advocate Broadcasting Network. ADBN, Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Hello and welcome to another beautiful edition of Softline, and today I am going to be doing, not alone really, but my co-hosts are not here with me, but then don't worry, it's not going to be a boring one, I promise you. So I have with me today, I don't know if I'm going to call him the controversial, because the last time he was on this show he broke tables. Mr. Kabnam Akpabio, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much.
So I'll be hosting today's show with Mr. Kabnam. Please don't break any table today.
No.
What you said the last time is still trending up to today.
Are you serious?
I'm sure you don't even know what it is. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so before we go into the main show like we used to do, we have this chat. I just like to ask my guests a little question. Akwa Ibom just celebrated 37th birthday recently. I think it was on Tuesday or Monday precisely.
Yeah.
Anniversary. So let's see. From then Akwa Ibom and now Akwa Ibom, if you understand what I mean. I know you've seen a lot of years when it comes to the development and everything that has to do with Akwa Ibom State. So when you've been asked, what do you think about the state? What is it you say?
Well, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm old enough to say things about Akwa Ibom because I was privileged to be alive when this state was created.
Exactly.
I think on the 23rd day of September 1987. It was a great day for us. Then we were in the Cross River State. And suddenly everybody now had to drift back to the state that was called Akwa Ibom.
Akwa Ibom. Were you excited?
Yeah, in fact, my late father then had to relocate.
Wow.
We had grown up in Cross River State, so we all had to relocate back home. It was, the joy was much within and outside us, having a state of our own. So, between then and now, there has been remarkable, trend of development. Yes, right from the military eras and the brief civilian, rule.
Okay.
When the late Akpan Isem was the first civilian governor, though the tenure was short-lived, you still have to bring him also into the picture. Akwa Ibom has witnessed tremendous development, and God has so blessed us with leaders that are listening, that are ready to do the work and their calling. So if you want to look at Akwa Ibom is one of the states in South that I should say is now becoming a destiny.
Okay.
A destination. Yes,
yeah.
A destination.
Especially tourist destination.
Yes. The tourism potential is so rich.
Yeah.
And the hospitality, the peace, the security, the accommodating spirits we have here is second to none.
All right, so let's look at it now. Let's say in 10 years' time, where do you hope to see Akwa Ibom State?
Well, in 10 years' time, I think we should be competing with Abuja, if not. Because
with development,
yes, with the person we have, he's just started. So he has like more 7 years, I think with the person, the governor we have now, before he finishes by 2031, I think Akwa Ibom State will be something else.
You voluntarily gave him the second tenure.
Yeah. Because one good turn deserves another.
Right?
But you said 10 years, right? So by the time he leaves, he will be short-lived by 2 years. You understand? So he must have completed a full cycle of development.
Okay.
And whoever will come to take over from him, the remaining 2 years that we've discussed,
okay,
I think we'll have a good step.
Okay, so but to you, Mr. Kapnem, is there something you would love Akwa Ibom to achieve within these 10 years I just mentioned? You know, is this a particular thing? You know, some other person will say, okay, I wish in 10 years' time we should have a maybe oil depot. Or I wish in 10 years' time we should have, you know, I don't know, better industries. You know, is there something in particular you would love for Akwa Ibom to achieve before that time?
They say health is wealth. I keep on saying that here in Akwa Ibom State, we don't have our own state teaching hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if not for the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital that is so comprehensive, so well furnished, I don't know how Akwa Ibom people would have fared health-wise.
Okay.
So I'm looking at us having a befitting, teaching hospital.
Okay.
As in state-owned.
State-owned
teaching hospital. Because what we have at the local government is not quite, it's not quite up to date, you understand?
Okay.
So we are talking about our own state-owned, teaching hospital.
Okay.
And I want to see Akwa Ibom have an oil depot where fuel business can be done, because, our marketers travel out to Cross River State to lift petroleum.
And that also adds to the prices.
Yes, and so on. I also want to see Akwa Ibom with at least 18 to 22 hours power.
Wow.
To drive, the local economy.
From your mouth to the governor's ear, people would say. From your mouth to the governor's ear, if he's listening.
Yes.
So that he can have this and make this come true before the 10 years. To make you happy, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are also on this table.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
I trust my governor, he's working.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kapnan, for that insight. All right. So we'll go on a very short break. And when we return, we'll introduce our topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world's unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
No matter wetin I see, enough fit make mouth heavy to talk am. That's now why people dey talk.
You know wetin dey worry you, but you no go fit take help yourself.
In this kind of situation now, what if they really no talk to una? Wetin be the way forward?
They go bury our chairman on Thursday. We go remain here.
Make we talk good where we dey see good, and where we know say we no dey see good, make we also dey talk am.
No woman, no mother deserve to know the grave of his child.
The bank manager, the bank executive, they are the one the government should first face.
People They Talk, the show on Monday to Friday by 5 p.m. on top ADBN TV.
Welcome back and thanks for being there. On today's special episode of Softline, we'll delve into the intricate tradition and complex issues surrounding marriage in Nigerian culture. Today we are going beyond the bridge or the bride price to explore the cultural significance, social implications, and personal stories behind this deeply rooted practice. So joining me is Mr. Kabna Akpabio, a respected traditionalist with profound insight into the history and symbolism of bride price in Nigerian community. Together, we will navigate the nuance of this debatable topic confronting criticism and exploring the role of tradition in modern society. Now let's dive in. You know, we have a lot of views. People have different views when it comes to tradition, when it comes to bride price, when it comes to things you need to do before you get married in every community of Nigeria, right? So, Mr. Kabnam, I'm going to start with your own community today. Let's start with your own community. What do you think? I'm just looking for a good way to put it. I would have asked, what do you think is bride price? But no, I'm not going to go straight to bride price. In your community, is there anything they do when it comes to bride price that you think shouldn't be?
Well, I would not really want to narrow it down to my community.
Okay, but let's start with your community first.
Yes,
let's start
yes.
from your community.
Yes, when I'm not afraid of starting with my community, but I also want you to understand that marriage starts with the family, because the community is at the larger space.
Okay.
It starts with the family. Yes, the community doesn't give out people on marriage. You know, it's the family. So I think we should start it
with the family, right?
With the family, yes.
All right, so let's go ahead.
So, for instance, in my family, you know, I'm from Etinan, and a typical Ibibio man. In my family, what we do in my family, for instance, my family A might not have the same practice with family B.
Okay.
But in my own family, we see to it that we do not use, you know, marriage or marriage rights to threaten prospective in-laws. You understand? We try to understand and see reasons and understand that we are not selling out.
You're the bride.
The bride, you know, so we understand and also look at the circumstances surrounding the intents.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if you've been asked to describe what bride price is now, how would you describe it?
Well, bride price, it all depends on the perception you have about it. Because sometimes some people see bride price as maybe you must bring a truckload of, you know,
of goodies.
Goodies and, you know, start throwing monies and, you know, do all sorts of things. Bride price is just a token whereby you just go to your in-laws compound and say, I'm interested in your daughter, and they give you a list. You know, you just see how well you can fulfill, you know, the requirements of that list. That is just the bride price, and sometimes monies are involved.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are the significance of this practice? You know, when we talk about bride price, why can't people just go and, you know, get a wife, negotiate? Why must something be dropped, or why must something be given before? So let's talk about the significance of this particular practice.
Yes, even in the Bible, even in the Quran, you don't just go and lift somebody's daughter and go. Or you don't just go and negotiate orally and go.
Okay, you must come with goodies.
There must be a ransom.
Ransom?
You know, yes, you must pay. You know, there must be something you pay for, you know, to get her. You know, you must drop something. You don't just go and lift and go.
So why must you drop something? That's what I want to know.
That is the essence of the marriage. It is traditional that you must drop something. It is a must. We did not start it. You know, it has been there ever since we came to see it, and we are not in a better or good position to change the system.
And why not?
We can't, because even in the Bible says you must pay dowry. So this thing came from God. Whoever goes against it goes against the ordinances of God. Yes. People have been paying bride price in the Bible. Marriages have been conducted in the Bible. So the trend is ongoing. But the problem is that what we are seeing today is like we've overstepped our bounds, you know, making it too exorbitant, making it too expensive. It shouldn't be, bride price shouldn't be something that should cut people's throat.
Yeah, you know, I like the fact that you said it shouldn't be something that will cut people's throat, but I really want to know, what is the symbolic? What is it so, why is it so good? Why should it be held at high esteem that you must pay a bride price? You must pay to marry your wife. Is there something like, okay, if a woman is working and it's been known that she was paid for, is there something, a pride that goes with it? You know, why I'm asking this question, because I saw a lot of tweets and people misunderstand this bride price thing, you know. Some person say it's old, it's an archaic practice, so it should be done away with. So if there are positive symbols, if there are, you know, positive, I don't know how to put it, but what is it about the bride? Because you're a traditionalist, so I feel you should have answers to this question. So that's why I'm asking you, what is the significance of bride price?
Yes.
What does it mean? Apart from the fact that you go with these goodies, you pay, and then you collect your wife, what does it mean to the woman? What does it mean to the man?
It means, one, you fulfilled the tenets of marriage.
Okay. Which is a thing of pride, right?
Yes, if you are unable to pay your bride price, that marriage is not honored by God and by man. It is a commandment.
Okay.
So you can't shift that boundary. Obviously, you can't shift it. And I don't think anybody will be able to shift it. No matter how learned, no matter how exposed you think you are, you won't be able to shift it. In the civilized climes, where we are even borrowing
some of the cultures.
Yes, they are paying. Yes, they are paying bride price. So the thing has come to stay. But you see, the alarming and the painful side is the abuse. You know, is the abuse. People have, some families have really abused.
Okay, so not talking about abuse, that means it has evolved. The way you talk about now, so when you were getting married, those days and now, how has it changed when you talk of bride price?
Well, it depends on the family you step your feet into.
Okay.
Because there are some families you get yourself involved and they are still doing the old things of the 50s. They will tell you, just give us one bottle of hot drink, give us cola, carry your wife and go, and they give you blessings. Oh, really? Yes. Sometimes you might not even spend up to 3,000. Okay. It depends on the family. And there are some families you will go, they will tell you to start building the house. You know, buy motorbike for the mother, you know, erect an oil processing mill. Okay. You know, they make the thing too exorbitant for you to contend with.
Yeah, but I know you've seen a lot of weddings recently, right?
Obviously, yeah.
So what has changed over time?
Well, the wedding now is so, the aesthetics and the expenditures and everything, the photo shoots, the entertainment, you know, the environment has really changed. You know, in my own days, at least in the 80s, not late 70s or thereabouts.
Okay, when you got married?
I got married in one of these 20s. So, but then, when I was a young person, it wasn't so much. Marriage wasn't and something people should raise alarm over. But you see people go borrowing to get married because they want to compete. Mr. B did is a wedding reception at Le Meridian, and Mr. C now says he wants to do his wedding reception at Le Meridian. He does not even have money. He wants to borrow so that he will compete with Mr. B. It's not proper. It's not proper.
So according to you now, marriage and bride price paying validates marriage, right?
Yes, obviously it validates marriage. Even if you go to do court registry, they will ask you there, did you settle the family? Did you do everything that you were told to do? They will ask, as in that is the formal setting of it, that you are going for the court. They must ask you, did you settle the mom? Did you settle the dad? Did you settle the community? Did you settle the family? And that is the bride price. Where you tell them no, they might tell you to go back and sort yourself out before you come back. You understand? I've seen an instance where the bride's father refused to go sit out during marriage.
He refused to sit?
Yes, refused to present himself during the marriage.
Wow.
He said the son-in-law did not give him shoes.
Oh.
That the list was not complete. He did not give him shoes. So he decided to stay back. So they now had to go and buy shoes for him. So it is as deep as that.
Now, let's now go with that. You know, for the father-in-law to take that step, don't you think people are taking advantage of this marriage bride price thing to exploitation and oppress, you know, people, especially for people who don't have enough money to do these things?
Earlier on when we started, I talked about the abuses. You know, we talked about the abuses. Some families are extremely greedy and wicked. Let me just be very, very open. And that is why you see most of our young girls roaming the streets. They can't easily get married. Because Mr. A will come, the family will bring list. They say, you have to pay 5 million, you have to pay this, the guy will go. So, coupled with the economy we find ourselves today, I think people should really look inwards. I mean, I have 4 daughters. So. Yeah, I have 4 daughters.
That this topic is very important to you then.
The day I give them out for marriage, I will go my father's way. In my own family, we don't charge more than 16 naira. 60.
Really? 60. Even though 16 naira doesn't have any value now?
Yes. It is our family order. No matter how rich you think you are as a man, how influential you think you are, we will not take more than 60 naira.
But some persons will say, okay, 60 naira is the bride price, fine. But then the list of things you have to do might be worth millions of naira.
It all depends. But for instance, like me, nobody can come from outside to decide. No family member will come from outside to decide what I take.
Well, I used to think it's a community thing, like from your village now. Because I remember when I was having my own, we have this chief. Yes. And with the chief is the list of things the in-laws are supposed to do. Yeah. So the family, the direct family have little or nothing to do when it comes to that list of things the in-law is supposed to do.
No, you still have a say.
Okay.
Yes, you still have a say. You still stamp your feet on ground as the hosts.
Oh.
The nuclear family still has a say.
Okay.
But where the nuclear family compromises, that is when it looks as if the extended family has, taken over the whole shoe. Because you see sometimes some parents can be so corny. They will pretend as if the extended people are the problem.
Okay.
They must have rubbed minds last night.
Oh.
Okay, when it comes, do this, collect this. I don't want to have issues with my daughter. I learned the husband is rich. Collect it. It happens.
You're speaking like you've seen it.
No. Yes, I know what I'm saying. I know because I've witnessed so many instances. I've witnessed so many instances at my age. I've witnessed so many instances.
Okay, so what can we do about these exploitations family do, for prospective in-laws? Should we cut out the lists? Should we cut out bride price? Because the bride price is the root of this exploitation and oppression we are talking about. So should it be over with?
Well, I don't really, because I believe everything starts from the family. It is the duty of, I think, the bride.
The bride?
Yes. To liaise with the parents first.
Okay.
My man is struggling to build up life. And I'm also going to build up life with him.
Okay.
Look inwards, look deeply, and adjust, the lists we are giving him. Because after now, we will have to go and parent.
Yeah, you have to eat.
I might get pregnant. You understand? So, if the girl first, rub minds with the parents, you understand? At least it wouldn't be that so sudden. You need to have some time space to discuss with your father, to discuss with your mother, to discuss with your brothers, as in your immediate, your blood brothers and sisters, for them to understand.
Okay, and so if they don't understand, like the man you mentioned who refused to come into the court because he wasn't given the pair of shoes, if they refuse to understand, what do you do as a woman?
You have no option than to go and tell your husband to buckle up. Obviously not. And the guy will so marry you, with bitterness. You understand? Because you see the guy will be laughing on that traditional marriage day or wedding day. He's just laughing because he wants to make the photo. But right inside him, he is so bitter with the in-laws. And sometimes after the marriage, you don't see him again.
Oh.
Yes. The father-in-law will get ill, say that is his business. They tell him, say that is his business. The mother-in-law will get ill, they say that is his business. The next time you see him, maybe he will come to attend burial. After the burial, he says, the wife, let's go back home. Yes, because the system really has to, and that's why I commend one of the northern governors.
Okay.
I don't have forgotten the states. He conducted a traditional marriage for about 800 youths.
Oh, okay. All right. We had one in Niger State.
Yes, I think Niger State. Yes. The government decided to pay for everything. How I wish it can happen here.
Seriously?
Because a lot of our young men on the streets wished they could get married. They have the desire. You know, the readiness is there. But you see, the finances.
It's not there.
It's
now,
not there.
let me ask one question, Mr. Kabnem. You know, they said you cherish something you worked hard to get, more than something that was given you on a platter. You understand? So if somebody conducts this wedding for this, would you think they would regard, you know, hold this wedding or these wives of theirs in high esteem, other than them struggling to pay for whatever it is in the list to get their wife?
Whether you struggle or not, what was meant to be yours will be yours. Eh? So it doesn't, it's not a conquest.
Okay.
You understand? I see marriage is a simple understanding. One between the two people that are getting married and the family. You understand? But you see, sometimes the worst part of it that our churches are not also helping matters.
Yeah.
Our churches are also contributed a large chunk of the problem.
Why so?
Yes, because, for instance, somebody has completed the hurdle of traditional marriage. You now go for church wedding, and the church will also give you bills.
But is it necessary to go through, after the traditional, you have to go to the church?
I don't know, because I don't know what's wrong with most of our young men today. I think at traditional marriage, one should be okay. Yes, it is tenable. You understand? It is certified that you are married, immediately you are back from your traditional marriage.
Okay.
Even if it is parlor.
Yeah.
Yes. Marriage does not really mean you must stand canopies, hire barn, kill cows and buy drinks. You know? Marriage you can finalize marriage with just about 6 people. Provided that understanding is there. And that exchange of vows, you know, is there.
So now, looking around you, you know, because I know you've seen a lot of marriages, looking around, what was attainable then and now? I see a lot of persons saying, churches do it. I read somewhere where a pastor came and asked the youth in the church, which of them is ready to get married? And about 10 youths volunteered that they were ready to get married, and the women they wanted to get married with were available. So the pastor conducted this marriage. All he needed was for the youths or the guys, the husbands, to make sure they had something doing. And he conducted this marriage ceremony free of charge for these people. All right? And so they went in. So we see a lot of these things happening these days. So, but then do you think it will make a difference? You know, will it, you know, reduce the kind of people like you, the kind of importance you hold for a bride price? You know, because you said without that bride price thing, the marriage is not certified, is not this, is not that. So with this Do you think that marriage is still valid?
That such marriage is illegal.
Really?
Before God and before man, it is illegal because nothing has exchanged for it. Nothing has exchanged. The dowry has not been paid. When you see that governor of, is it Niger State that did it? He paid, he volunteered to pay, you know, for those male guys. You understand? So for a pastor to just wake up and say, I'm joining you
in marriage,
the foundation of that marriage, the foundation is faulty.
All right, but I thought you said it was based on understanding. If the husband and wife can have an understanding, then why should they bother?
No.
If they are not worried about traditionalists and all that.
No,
why?
Understanding of the husband and the wife to be, you know, doesn't validate. You know, they still have to go back home. The understanding I'm talking about is, will you marry me? I say yes.
Okay, all right.
I will marry you. Then let's go home.
Okay.
And see, come and see my people.
Okay.
Yes, you must go and see.
You must go and see.
Yes, you must go and see. Otherwise, you are sinning. You'll be living in fornication.
Now, talking about that, we'll go on a very short break. But I've seen a lot of people who, because of this list, they do live in. And you see them having lots of children, but the bride price has not been paid because of probably the kind of problem the villagers gave to the groom. He decided, well, since we love ourselves, we understand ourselves, let's go ahead and get married and forget about the village and the bride price list and all that. But and it still works for them.
No, you remembered me something.
Okay.
What you are saying, the risk is also there.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that risk when we'll come back. Just hold on to that thought. We'll go on a very short break and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
All right, thank you for being there. So we are still discussing bride price, and I have with me my controversial guest, Mr. Kabnam Akpabio. Okay, so but we have some tweets we would like to take, Mr. Kabnam. Let's see these tweets, and then I'll get your reactions to them. Okay, so this one is from Chika, and Chika says, "This is the reason I am still single. The marriage rights plus the bride price is beyond the reach of many guys these days." All right, so this one is from Asen. Asen said, "Most people mistake dowry for bride price. You know, dowry is the thing the bride takes to her husband's house. Bride price is what the groom, that's the husband, pays to the family of the bride to give their blessing to the marriage." Okay, so we have this other one from Reno Omokiri. He said, "A bride price or dowry is biblical, just like Kabnam said, but optional. It depends on the parents. Rebecca's parents didn't demand a dowry. Abraham only offered gifts. All right. Parental consent is what is necessary. If our parents demand a dowry before consent, then pay. If not, it's okay." Then this other one from John Dio, he said, "My wife's family paid dowry. I am not Indian. When a woman is escorted to your home with all sorts, it is called dowry. Now, a bride's family does not send their daughter to a man's house empty-handed." And they will have this other one from Talk to V. And he said, "Dowry is different from bride price. All the gifts a bride is given to take to her new home is dowry, e.g. kitchen utensils, home decoration, etc., etc." All right, Mr. Kabnam, I don't know which of these tweets you would like to react to, but let's take the first tweet, for instance. There was a picture of so many, goodies as a bride price, I guess, and she said this is the reason why she's not married today. I asked you, there are so many people who would want this bride price thing to be taken out, because there are so many families who are determined to exploit as much as they can from potential in-laws. So this person is saying because of this bride price, she is still single. So what's your thought on this particular one?
Well, it's beyond my reach to regulate.
Okay.
You know, when we started earlier, I had told us that the family matters. You understand? Some people are blessed to come from a family that has that deep understanding. They are not greedy, they are not hostile, you know. They have some fear of God in them, you know. Some are born into families that does not see beyond today. You understand? So, but it has to do with our consciences. The conscience has to come in. Yeah, good conscience has to come in.
Okay.
Yes, you are giving your daughter out to another family.
Okay.
You don't even know the economic status of that place. You don't know the social status of that place. You don't know the spiritual status of that place. So as a parent, you must guard against everything, you know, that will make her uncomfortable when she goes there. Because now that you are demanding so much from the man, he has gone back to tell his own family, this is what my in-laws are doing. This is what my in-laws are demanding. The pressure is much. Sometimes they will now sell one land for him to go get the lady in, you know. And sometimes when the lady finally arrives, war starts. She's now faced with opposition, hatred, malice, envy, and every other thing. They could even force the guy against the wife. So I really subscribe to what that, is it Chinwe or what, has tweeted, you know.
Which of them?
The first
okay.
Chika.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now, still on this Chika's tweet now, if this lady now saying that because of the bride price she has not been able to get married and all that, if she goes ahead, because you know women will say time is not the clock of, you know, it's ticking, they can't wait anymore. She goes ahead to, you know, move in with a guy and then begin to have children. What did you say will happen? It's not if she takes that step, it's not honorable. She herself will not be respected. Why so? She won't be respected because she will be seen as being so cheap within the women fold. Within the women fold, she will be seen to be lacking self-worth, you know, because it is traditional that you must be married honorably out. So the girl herself has some work to do. The girl child has some work to do. They have good work to do on their parents. Okay. Yes, they have good work to do on their parents. They could even go to the extent of maybe inviting friends of the family, you know, to intercede for them. Okay. You see? But where it fails, the shame also falls back to the family. Because any man that has female daughters that are still staying with him when they are up to 25 and 30 is questionable. Oh, really? Yes. Oh, why questionable? I mean, education has some question mark. Oh. You know? That those girls are still with him is traceable to his character. You understand? Because sometimes the girl child will read the body language of the father and the mother, some utterances. You know, sometimes there's a mom will that, can't you go and look for somebody that has a car? Can't you look for somebody that has limousine? You understand? But meanwhile, this girl can't find one that has keke. So what does she do? She keeps on waiting. Because if the mom had encouraged her, anybody you see, go and start your life. God will prosper you. You understand? It will now give the girl encouragement, you know, for her to be serious with any young person, any young man he sees. Okay. And she will also relay this information. Come, if we are to get married, come, don't be afraid. Okay. You know, because she has already gotten the confidence from the parents. Okay. That the thing will not be too exorbitant. All right, so this other tweet I would like us to get clear. You know, we always mistake this dowry and bride price. They are two different things. You know, when a woman gets married, she's being given a household item that's gifts from her parents. So that's referred to as the dowry. Yeah. While what the in-law pays is the bride price. Is the bride price. Yes. So I just wanted us to get that clear. Okay, so Captain, I'm going to ask you again. I'm coming to your society, your local government. You said you're from Etinan local government. Yes. So how is the marriage, the bride price, everything that has to do with marriage? How is it in Etinan? Do you like it? Is there something you would like to change? Can you tell us about it?
Obviously, I'm very, very comfortable with what we do in my place.
Oh, really?
We really understand the plight of our in-laws.
Okay.
And we an average Imanibo man, as in my clansman, is always very happy giving out the daughter out
in marriage. Oh, really?
We don't really. If you have your trumpets to come and blow, there is no problem. But we are particularly always very, very happy.
Okay.
To give our daughters out in marriage. You understand?
Okay.
But that is not to say we don't still have some, some terrible families. So.
Oh, yes, you have them.
Yeah, we still is everywhere. In everything there must be a Judas. Yes. So, but on the whole, in my own LGA and in my village. Marriage is simple.
Okay.
The process is simple. The understanding is always there. You understand? So I throw it open. People should come and marry in Etinan from Etinan. Yes.
I hope you're listening, young men out there from Etinan.
When you come to Etinan, ask of me. I will, I will intercede.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So you're comfortable with the practice of marriage in Etinan. There's nothing you would like to take away and there's nothing you would like to add.
There is nothing I would really want to say I want to take away.
Okay.
You understand? Because on the general scene, it's simple. There are some OLGAs, there are some other local government that they will tell you have to provide your mother-in-law a mid-90s C-bike. They will tell you to bill oil meal. Yes. I know of a local government in Akwa Ibom that we went to get lists. What they gave us was almost like 12 million. And when we came back to you, the guy now brought out the list and say, bro, see what has happened. I've signed out with the girl. And that is how that marriage died.
And now, if that marriage was to go ahead, what would be the consequences of the guy not, paying the bride price?
If the marriage was to go ahead?
Yes, without the bride price, what are the consequences?
Who will even give him out? Who will even give the daughter out in marriage? Because before they give, before the man gives the daughter out in marriage, he must have collected. You understand?
Okay.
But if the lady forcefully, maybe say elopes.
Elope. Exactly.
with the man, and unfortunately, anything happens. For instance, death. Death.
Okay.
You can't take away death.
Yeah.
Yes. And the day the guy will go to tell the owners of this girl that your daughter is dead. You understand? There is what we call Udokbu in my place.
What's that?
And it's so peculiar everywhere.
Okay.
Yes.
What is
As in, you must marry the dead.
Seriously?
Yes. And in that marriage list, you don't argue. You don't negotiate. If they tell you 10 cows, you will give 10 cows. If they tell you 50 goats, you will give 50 goats. They don't argue that one. But if the lady is alive and you go for marriage, they give you lists. You are at liberty to argue. Okay, you say I should bring 5 cartons of beer, I will give 3.
Okay.
That one is there. But if the lady is dead, if the lady dies, in your confines, when you did not do what you were supposed to do, by the time you go there, you will pay everything to the last dime.
And if you don't have, what happens?
The cops will be there. Would you bury somebody's daughter without the consent? I've witnessed a situation whereby there is a corpse at the morgue that's been there for like 8 years now.
Really?
Yes.
How?
The young man is struggling up and down to go and pay the bride price so that he could go and vacate the corpse for burial.
Wow, that's sad.
Yes, and that is the penalty for being stubborn.
Okay, so if it was the other way, like the man dies even without paying the bride price, what happens to the woman?
It behoves on the man to marry. Okay, if the man dies...
But the woman can go home with the children. She can visit her parents.
Yeah. The woman moves on.
Really?
If she moves on, she has no issue. If the man dies, there's no problem. The woman moves on.
Okay. Now the woman moves on. This is from the woman's side. How about from the in-laws, from the man's side? Would they accept the woman and the children, knowing fully well that they didn't pay her bride price? I'm just trying to find the consequences to these actions in case, when people are planning to, take this line, they should know what awaits them.
These children, answers the father's name.
Yeah.
So that understanding of receiving them
is already there.
Will be there. You understand? That though the father died, they will still recognize the children, as their own. So there will be no problem. It matters most when
the
woman has issues bothering them.
So are you okay with this practice?
Well, it's a personal difference. It's not as if I'm okay. But all the same, I'm not in a position to change the system and the way people act, and behave. How I wish we have some in-depth understanding of what life is and how people should play along with, life. That is just the issue.
I was hoping, because I asked you some of those practices you would want to change, and I thought this practice is something you would really want to change. Like for instance, the person you said the corpse has been in the mortuary for 8 years. I mean, why would they want to leave? They said let the dead be buried and rest in peace. So if the man is still struggling and doesn't have that money, why would you want to keep the corpse in the mortuary for that long? Why not abolish that kind of culture? And
how I wish, as you rightly ask, if there are things I would love
to change.
Obviously, like that one, like that scenario there, I would have loved such a thing, yes, to be changed, but I can't. But if it happens to me, I'll know how, I manage it.
Okay.
You understand? Everything depends on the families. There are some families, such a thing will happen, they will sympathize and say, well, they were not meant to be, her marriage, her bride price was not meant to be paid, They just give the waiver and move on. But some people will look at this as an insult. You understand? Okay, for instance, in my place, you get somebody's daughter impregnated when you must have not paid,
the bride price.
Yes. When you want to go out there, first of all, they will collect one goat from you. They say, for insulting the family.
What's the insult? Okay, all right.
Yes, impregnating her illegally. Yes. First. What I mean is that by the time you want to now go out for the real marriage, you mistakenly got her impregnated. You understand? She put to bed. You went on with your life. She lived with you. She gave up to 2, 3, 4 kids, and you now feel you are wealthy enough to go out for the main show.
Okay.
By the time you step into that compound, the first thing they will collect from you, they will demand from you, they will get that goods, and they'll ask you, they will tell you that you insulted the family. They will get that one first before you say whatever you want to say. And they call it Ebut Usongoyen.
What did you call it?
Ebut Usongoyen. Yes, they get it. But for instance, in my family, we don't take things like that.
Oh.
In my family, we don't do that one.
Okay, so what do you do?
Nothing.
You allow the whole process.
We forgive. We forgive. Christ told us to forgive our trespasses, so we forgive.
Oh.
Yes, but in some other family they will collect. That's why I was telling you that it depends on the family, not really the nuclear family and the extended. You understand? It all depends. Like in my own nuclear and extended family, we don't do it.
Okay, so is there not supposed to be like a uniform practice? Because it depends on the family, the nuclear, the extended. Is there not supposed to be like a uniform practice? Because if we're beginning to look at, it depends on the family now. Some family don't mind, just like you said. They don't mind, and they're not bothered if the man doesn't have the bride price. Let him go ahead and live with their daughter. There's no problem. As far as he can take care of the woman, he can feed her and all that, that's no problem. Don't you think if we begin to do, depending on the family, we'll have more of this? Because looking at the youth of these days now, we have so many of them who, I saw a data, I can't remember, but I saw a data where they were talking about moving in together, you know, people cohabiting, yeah. So people are beginning to see it like it's a normal thing.
New normal.
It's a new normal, exactly. So, you know, so if people are beginning to see this normal, that is normal, and they don't value these cultures anymore, where do you think we'll be? So there should be a uniform, you know, like a uniform practice, where your family has no say, like this is how it is, this is what you must do. So if family A forgave and family B did not forgive, you know, it boils down to people doing whatever they like.
No, in some cases you don't do whatever you like. If a young man cohabits, there are consequences.
Okay.
There are social consequences, there are spiritual consequences, you know, and there are economic consequences.
All right.
So you can't escape. It is mandatory, simply mandatory, that you must go and seek that consent.
Okay.
You know, seek that do it. Try to be honorable.
Yeah.
Yes, because God Himself honors marriage. You know, God instituted marriage. We must understand marriage from that standpoint.
Okay.
God instituted marriage. Marriage is not man-made.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
And there are principles.
Yeah, that we have to follow.
We are principles. There are principles we have to follow.
You know, I learned a lot from.
Long.
I learned a lot from your Itinan culture.
Yeah.
And it's good. Okay, but just in 1 minute, have you seen contrary practice outside of your state that you admire so much, like in bride price from other states?
Yes, I really admire those of the northern.
Oh.
Those of the northern states.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is it about them?
Marriage is made so simple and so easy.
In the north?
In the north. It's made so simple and so easy. You know, yes, I don't know if it's being influenced by their religion or I don't know. But from my experiences, you know, from my travels and what I've seen, marriage is made so easy. I mean, easy on its own context, you know. And that is why you see a young person of 18 in the north is married.
He's already married.
He's married.
While a young person in this side is still hustling to make.
What you are telling me? Somebody at 45 does not even cannot even is not even thinking of getting married. You know, in the northern states in the north, when you are up to like 10, 11, 12. Your family begins to, you know, prep you for marriage.
Okay.
Whether you are a boy or you are a girl. Yes. At 12 up there, I learned you are even ripe enough to get married.
That's child marriage. We kick against it.
Marriage is marriage.
No, we kick against that. We don't advise.
But walking up there.
It's not. It's not. That's why we have a high rate of VVF, you know, having children going through labor and all that. So we don't encourage that. But you said something that I would just like you to, though we've run out of time. But now that they have that practice in the north, would you want that to be done here? That kind of simplicity when it comes to marriage? Like to wipe out or to make the bride price like 2 items on the list.
Okay.
So that, you know, you just come, this is what you do, pay 20 naira for the family and just do this, and that is all.
Everybody loves cheap labor.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kabnam. It was so interesting having this discussion with you. Being a traditionalist, great.
You are traditionally something.
That's what you say you are. All right, thank you so much. Sometimes, right? Not all the time.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you are modern.
Yes, sometimes I'm a man of God.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, all encompassing.
Yes.
All right, I understand. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. That's the much we can take from Mr. Kabnam and myself. So bye-bye and thanks for watching.
Thank you.